Welcome to my kitchen. If you know me, you know that for 34 years I taught family consumer science. And one of the things that I was able to teach was I was able to teach my students how to cook. One of the favorite things that I taught them to make was the chocolate chip cookie. And if you only learn to bake one thing in your kitchen, it should be the chocolate chip cookie. I'm going to help teach you today how to perfect that, because I'm going to share all my tricks over the past 34 years with you so you can perfect it. Let's get started. The thing that is very important when baking anything is to make sure that you're measuring all your ingredients exactly. So I'm going to show you how to do that along with a few other things that I want you to keep in mind. Okay, what you're going to do is you're going to have two bowls. Okay, one is for the dry ingredients and one is going to be for your shortening and your sugars. So I usually get started with my dry ingredients first. And you are going to measure two cups and 2 tablespoons of flour. So you want to make sure that you're using a dry measuring cup. And you're going to use a straight edge to level this off. Very important that you get exactly 2 cups. There's one. And your second one. And then I've learned 2 cups isn't enough. You need just a little bit more. So I'm going to add 1 and 2. Okay. Then I always put my ingredients aside so I don't put them in twice. The next thing I'm going to have measure here is the baking soda. Now, I just opened up this baking soda. I try to replace my baking soda every 3 months because that is one of the things that will give your cookies the rise that you want. I write the date on it, 3/25, so that was actually today. So I am going to go ahead and I'm going to get 1 teaspoon of baking soda. 1 teaspoon. I'm going to level it off with my little straight edge on my box. So there's 1 teaspoon of baking soda and I need a teaspoon of salt. Okay, I heat that up over the top and I level it off. Okay, so there are my dry ingredients. I'm going to give that a little stir and I'm going to set that aside. Now I'm going to get my bowl that is for my mixer, and I like to use the sticks of shortening. They are a little bit more expensive, but it ensures that my shortening is nice and fresh. So I'm going to add that to my bowl, and it's a little less messy than measuring in a cup. Okay, so there is my shortening. I am going to add a cup of brown sugar. Okay, the brown sugar, you want to make sure that if it's been opened, that you keep it in a Ziploc bag so it stays nice and fresh. So I am going to pack this down. So whenever you're using brown sugar in a baking recipe, you want to pack that brown sugar until you cannot get any more in the bowl. And then you turn it out and you will see it looks like a sandcastle then. I need a 1/2 cup of regular sugar. So don't forget that. Sometimes I have forgotten to put the regular sugar in. It does not turn out very well. So I've got a 1/4 cup here. For you math geniuses, that is 2 of these. Make a 1/2 cup, which is what I want. I'm going to level that off, and I'm going to put that in the bowl. I need eggs, and got my eggs in the refrigerator here. Get those out. I need 2 eggs. Now, I try to make my cookies a little healthy when I can. These are actually cage-free eggs, and you want to use large eggs. If you do not use large eggs, then you won't have enough liquid. Let's say they're medium eggs or small eggs, it will mess up the consistency of your dough. Okay, there is my eggs. Whoops. And then I'm going to add my vanilla. It is very important that you use a good vanilla. Don't get the cheap Kroger brand. This is something that really adds to the flavor. I need 2 teaspoons. Okay, I'm going to pour that over another container just so in case I spill it, I don't get too much. Because you can't have too much vanilla. All right, I am going to give that a mix in my mixer, and I will be right back to show you what it looks like when you're done. I like to use my standing mixer here, so I'm going to let it do all the work for me. So come over here and take a look in my bowl. Flour. Make sure you add just a little bit at a time so it doesn't make a big mess. So I'm going to turn that on low. And I'm just going to keep adding it just a little bit at a time. Okay, here we are. We've got the finished product here. It should be nice and fluffy. And then you're going to add the chocolate chips. Now you can do a lot of different types of chocolate chips. I've experimented with it. You could do peanut butter or butterscotch. I have found one of my favorites now is I like to do the chocolate chunks. We've got the regular chocolate chunks, and then they have just some that are a little bit healthier. So you can play around with that and see what it is that you like. I'm going to go ahead and add these. Usually add about half the bag, and then I'm going to stir it up. You never want to mix it with the mixer. You want to stir it by hand. And then I just wash my hands. You'll want to make sure you wash your hands because you're going to get your hands in this dough. Okay, so this is really important. You want to make sure that they're all the same size, and you want to get them nice and round. Now this is a cookie sheet that I've used for years, and it's seasoned just right, and I've learned that I like to make my cookies a little bit bigger, so I'm going to put only 9 on a tray. Okay, turn on. Okay, and here we are. I've got them all on the tray here. I've got 9. I feel that that's fine because I make mine pretty big. You can make them whatever size you want, just make sure that they're all the same size so they are ready to come out of the oven at the same time. I'm going to pop it into my oven for 350, usually about 10 minutes, and we'll see what they look like when they come out. And here's the finished product. If you look real close, you can see they're all nice and round and slightly brown. You don't want to over bake them. And then this is when I save a few chocolate chips and I put right in the top. So this is what makes them look really pretty, because a lot of times you bake them and all the chocolate chips are kind of hidden at the bottom, but this way you get to put them where you want them. Now another thing I like to do is for the holidays, I get the M&Ms that are the color of the season, and here are some red and green ones I had left from Christmas, and you can stick some of those in. Easter, you can put the pastel ones. It just gives it a nice little touch. You want to let them sit for a few minutes, and then you're going to remove them to the cooling rack. And this is the best time to take a bite. So good. See you next time.